Vanakkam friends, I am Dr. Vanangamudi. I welcome all of you for my presentation on organic menus and green menus. Very interesting topic, and there are many questions, one or two questions coming from this topic and all competitive examinations. Nowadays, the organic agriculture is getting a lot of attraction, not only by the government, the policy makers, but also among the farmers. So, this topic is more important when compared to other topics in the present day context. And I request all of you to subscribe my YouTube channel, the Trinity Cultural Academy, and kindly subscribe now so that you can view or see the uploading the future uploading videos, and you can get benefit. I worked as dean agriculture. My basic qualification is the phd and the msc in seed science and technology, and I worked as professor and head of the Department of Seed Science and Technology, Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore, followed by the Dean, Adivarasakti Agriculture College. This is affiliated institution of TNAU. It is located at Kalavai. And at the time of retirement, I worked as Dean Agriculture, the Agriculture College and Research Institute, TNAU, Coimbatore. And my co-author for this topic preparation is Miss Kogila. Now she is doing MSc in Seed Science and Technology at the Department of Seed Science and Technology, TNAU Coimbatore. Now we can see, what do you mean by organic manures? It is nothing but the organic materials that are derived from animal, human, and plant residues or wastes which contain rich plant nutrients, all plant nutrients like the macro, secondary, and micronutrients. And those nutrients are available in complex organic forms. This word is coming from, derived from the French word manure, that means to manipulate, to work and produce crop that will increase the productivity of the crop. And there are different types of organic manures, namely the farmyard manure, whatever the waste, including the cow dung that is taken out from the farmhouse, and that will be composted and that is made available as farmyard manure. That is again the compost manure. It's all agricultural waste, including the crop waste and the weed waste. And the third type is animal waste, and fourth one is crop residues. Animal means the livestock, that's a cow, cattle, pigs, goat, and sheep droppings that will be converted as manure. Urban organic waste, and those waste that are collected from cities and that are composted and applied as organic manure. And the next one is biogas spent slurry, and there are some microbial preparations that is also the comes under the organic manures, vermicompost, that I will be dealing in a separate topic in detail. And biodynamic preparation, this also I will be talking in some other presentation. And finally, the green manures. There are two types, that is the green manure. Green manure means the raising the green manure crops in the field, and in situ incorporation of the green manure crops in the field itself. That means, and that at the time of flowering stage, it will be trampled by the tractors and incorporated in the field itself, soil itself. And the second one in green manure is green leaf manures, and that means you can collect the leaves, the branches, small branches of trees or shrubs from the trees that are meant for the green manure purpose, and then it is applied to the field and then decompose in the field itself. And we talk about many organic manures and other things. How we will get these organic waste in different sources. First, we will take the cattle shed waste and maybe a dung, the urine, slurry from biogas plants, because the input for the biogas is the cow dung, so it is combined with the cattle shed waste. And the human waste like night soil, human urine, town refuse, sewage and sludge and silage. And again the poultry litter and poultry droppings of sheep and goat is also act as a organic waste. The slaughterhouse waste in terms of bone meal, meat meal and blood meal, horn meal and hoof meal and fish waste. And those are collected from slaughterhouse and then composted and applied as organic manure. And some of the bioproducts of agro industries like the oil cakes, bagasse, press mud, fruit and vegetable processing waste. And this is the crop waste we are obtaining from the crops like sugarcane trash, stubbles and straw. Maybe the sorghum straw, maize straw, stubbles, the ragi stubbles and paddy stubbles and so on and so forth. And the water hyacinth, Icarnia crassipus, that also gives rich nutrient compost as well as weeds and tank silt. And I told in depth about the green manures and green leaf manures. Now let us see the nutrient content of the organic manures, and you can get these questions frequently in all competitive exams. The bulky manures, they will have farmyard manure, sheep and goat manure, poultry manures. And the nitrogen content of farmyard manure is 0.5%, and the phosphorus content is 0.2%, K2O is 0.5. Sheep and goat manure 3% nitrogen, 1% P2O5 and 2% K2O. Poultry manure, that is having more of nitrogen among these bulk organic manures, that is nitrogen is 3.03%, P2O5 is phosphorus content is 2.63% and K2O is 1.4%, and it is the K2O is less than the sheep and goat manure in the case of poultry manure. And let us see the concentrated organic manure that we are getting from different oil mills and other things. Non-edible oil cakes, and those are not useful for our eating purposes. The castor cake 4.3% N, 1.8% P2O5 and 1.3% K2O. Cotton seed cake, that is undecorticated, contains 3.9% nitrogen, 1.8% P2O5 and 1.6% K2O. Karanj cake that is 3.9% N, 0.9% P2O5 and 1.2% K2O. Mahua cake that contains 2.5% N, 0.8% P2O5 and 1.2% K2O. Safflower cake that is undecorticated, 4.9% nitrogen and 1.4% P2O5 and the K2O is 1.2%. Among these non-edible oil cakes, safflower contains 4.9% nitrogen when compared to other non-edible oil cakes. Then we look into the edible oil cakes that we can also eat besides used as organic manures. The coconut cake contains 3% N, 1.9% P2O5 and 1.8% K2O. Cotton seed cake that is decorticated, 6.4% N, 2.9% P2O5 and 2.2% K2O. Groundnut cake and it contains 7.3% N, 1.4% P2O5 and 1.3% K2O. Niger cake and this contains 4.7% nitrogen, 1.8% P2O5 and 1.3% K2O. Rapeseed cake contains 5.2% N, 1.8% P2O5 and 1.2% K2O. The safflower cake decorticated contains 7.9, 2.2 and 1.9 respectively N, P2O5 and K. The sesame cake contains about 6.2% N, 2% P2O5 and 1.2% K2O. Among the all edible oil cakes, the safflower cake contains more of nitrogen followed by groundnut cake. The average nutrient content of animal-based concentrated organic manures that we get from slaughterhouse and the blood meal contains 10 to 12% N, 1 to 2% P2O5 and 1% K2O. Meat meal that contains 10.5% N, 2.5% P2O5 and 0.5% K2O. Fish meal contains 4 to 10 N, 3 to 9 P and 0.3 to 1.5 K2O. Horn and hoof meals that will have the nitrogen content of 13%. Raw bone meal 3 to 4% nitrogen and P2O5 is 20 to 25 and steamed bone meal contains less of nitrogen but high P2O5. It doesn't contain K2O. And among the animal-based concentrated organic manures and blood meal having the highest nitrogen and the steamed bone meal contains the highest P2O5. Next we will move on to the green manures. Green manure is growing the plants or the crop, green manure crops in situ, that means in the soil, and incorporation in the field itself, that is called green manures. Don't confuse with green manures and green leaf manures. And this type of biomass production and N accumulation question is also frequently asked in the all competitive tests. The Sesbania aculeata at the age of 60 days, it can be incorporated in the soil in the field that will give 23.2 tons of dry matter and 133 nitrogen is accumulated. Sunamp that is also incorporated at the age of 60, and that will give 30.6 ton per hectare of dry matter, 134 nitrogen is accumulated, and cowpea, and at the stage of flowering or vegetative stage, it can be incorporated at the age of 60 days, and it will give 23.2 tons per hectare of dry matter and 74% nitrogen is accumulated. Pilli pesara, it can also be incorporated at the age of 60 days, and that will give 25 ton per hectare of dry matter and 102 nitrogen is accumulated. Cluster bean and sesbania, and these two green manure crops are incorporated at the age of 50, and the cluster bean will give only 3.2% dry matter, 10 dry matter, and Sesbania will give the 5 ton per hectare dry matter production, and it will accumulate 91% N and 96 N respectively for cluster bean and Sesbania. And among the all the green manure crops, Sannam, that is giving more of dry matter, that about 30.6 tons per hectare, and that is also contributing, accumulating more of nitrogen, that is 134. Now we can see the nutrient content of green manure crops. Sannamba, the scientific name is Rotularia jansea, and it contains 2.3% N, 0.5% P2O5, 1.8% K2O on air dry basis. Danger Sesbania acuata, 3.5% N, 0.6% P2O5 and 1.2% K. And Sesbania speciosa 2.7% N, 0.53% P2O5 and 2.21% K. Among all the green manure crops, this danger will contribute more of nitrogen, that is 3.5%, and in the case of K2O, the Sesbania species will give 2.2% K. Now we can see the green leaf manures, and it refers to the addition of green or plant tissues, maybe the green leaves or the branches that are obtained elsewhere, from elsewhere, that is trees, herbs, shrubs, prunings and unwanted weeds to the soil and then incorporated, that is called green leaf manure. Now we can see the nutrient content of green leaf manure, and we have two categories, that's plants and trees as well as the weeds. In the plants we can use Glaricidia, Pungam, Neem, Gulmohar and Peltophorum, and the scientific name is furnished in the second column. And Glaricidia, and among the all the green leaf manure obtained from the plants and trees, and the Pungam leaf contains more of N, that is 3.31%, and Gulmohar contains about 0.46% P2O5 when compared to, that is higher when compared to other green leaf manures obtained from plants and trees. And Glaricidia sapium, that contributes about 4.6% K2O when compared to other material, other plant leaf manure obtained from the plants and trees. In the case of weeds, we can use Parthenium, water hyacinth, Trianthema protolacastrum, Hypomia potatus, and Calotropis cassia, and the scientific name is given in the second column. And among all these green leaf manure obtained from weeds, the 3.01% nitrogen is contributed by water hyacinth, that is higher than other weeds, and also it will give higher of P2O5, that is about 0.90%. In the case of K2O, the Parthenium contains 1.5% K2O, and for other the details of N, P2O5 and K2O are furnished in the table. So I will give the link in the description and you can download, and kindly listen or view this presentation. That is more important. The topic is organic manures and green manures. Kindly subscribe my YouTube channel and share this presentation to your friends and as well as WhatsApp groups, and like my presentation, give your comments, valuable comments, whether it's a good or bad, so that I can improve in the future video. Thank you very much, friends.